Welcome in, welcome once again to the newest edition of Seahawkers What If, the most unique Seahawks Reno preview show in the multiverse. I'm your host, Clinton Bonner, and I am joined by the one, the only, the great Brandon Schultz. And of course, folks, it would not be, it could not be, we cannot traverse the Seahawks throwback multiverse if it wasn't for the protector of the multiverse, Mr. Phil Leidick. We are live. We're out there on youtube.com/Seahawkers podcast. Please, it's the giving season. Heck, it's Giving Tuesday. So all we're asking for, give the subscribes, give the likes. And if we're bringing you value at Seahawkers podcast, 5 shows a week, win, lose, or draw, gettintheflock.com. Go ahead, head over there and you get great perks for a little bit of schedule. Brandon, we are storming now into Jerry World. We got to go down to Dallas to face a Cowboys team that doesn't lose at home often. How are you feeling, dude?
I'm feeling fine. I mean, it can't get any worse, right? Because we've seen what the worst is: losing to division rivals in back-to-back weeks. I can stand to, it's the Cowboys. Okay, that could be bad too.
It could be bad. They are annoying. It's a very annoying.
Who's the most hated fan base outside of our division?
The Eagles.
Okay.
Fan base. Yeah.
Fan base. Yeah, I think a lot of folks would say them Cowboys because they were so successful for so long, and there's so many fans everywhere because they won. They won in the 70s. They won the 90s. And when you win, you get fans, right?
Pop quiz. Who won a Super Bowl more recently, the Cowboys or the 49ers?
Oh, that would – Cowboys won.
Cowboys.
Probably the Cowboys.
I think so, right? Because Niners won in 94.
Though, don't you?
Yeah, they're right there. They're neck and neck. They're neck and neck in a bad way. Mr. Phil, you traveled up to the game and on Thursday with your whole family. I'm glad you got to go to the game. I was going to say experience that. That's incorrect. And we're getting ready for this Cowboys team now. So I don't know. I'm not sure it gets easier, man. The Niners are probably better than the Cowboys. And the Cowboys are a darn good team at home. I know you're going to take us through the previously with the protector. Yeah. And last time we checked in on them boys, oh boy, 45-10, I think, versus the Manders. Is that right?
That's right. And we will jump right into previously. I will say they should have worn the throwbacks against the Niners. I'm not a big luck guy, but I'm hoping in some way these undefeated jerseys, which we've saved to take to Dallas, we are doing it on the road. I'm hoping that they will bring us some success down there because, yes, they are very, very good in Dallas. Both their offense and defense, DVOA likes them. They're number 5 offense by DVOA, 5 in passing, 13 in run. Not sure how the numbers add up, but they end up 5th overall. Prescott, of course, has a very dangerous arm. He does have some overthrows. Dak will give us our DBs some opportunities to maybe catch some of those that go too far. Maybe Diggs could do something cool. Pollard's very decisive runner. I rarely saw him give that indecisive running back look, and he's pretty solid that way. Their other back, number 23, Dowdle, he doesn't have a great yards per carry. Very good receiver in the dump-off game, at least he did against the Commies. Their O-line is good. I started to say, except for a few things in my notes, and then I crossed it out and said, no, they're really good. They're pretty much really good all the time, especially in the pass. Their receivers are good, not just Lamb, Cooks, and Gallup, who are all really good. Their backups are pretty decent too. So there's a lot of receivers he has to throw to. They did get quite a few undisciplined penalties on offense, especially in the beginning. Maybe they can do that again for us this Thursday. Defense, 2nd by DVOA, so even better. Number 2 against the pass, 13th against the run, so kind of medium on a run defense. Leaky against runs up the middle, at least that's what I've seen when watching them. They play a ton of man, but sometimes they disguise it, drop into a little zone. Pass rush can be absolutely instant, like here it is. I saw for the Commies, one thing that really helped when they moved the pocket, that seemed to be successful. They can be beat with some really quick throws. They're good in short yardage run stuffs. The few short yardage tries I saw the Commies do and a few others, like when it's short to run, they seem to be ready for that. This was crazy. I was watching the broadcast copy with 5 minutes to go. the average yard to gain on third down for the commies was 8.3. I was like,
Whoa.
please, let's not repeat that with our Seahawks.
Wow.
Then, of course, Bland, let's avoid him like crazy. Mr. Pick Six this year, number 26, had another one in that game. Anything else you guys saw on this Thanksgiving meal game?
I got to say, I kind of like Manders over commies. It just, it's fun.
You like Manders over commies. Okay. Well,
I don't know why. I don't know why.
Brennan, you're in your show. You can say Manders all you want.
Yeah, the one piece I will say all I want is I do get a little jelly of these Cowboys. I get jealous of watching Dan Quinn fired up with his hat backwards, and I get jealous of the time Prescott gets to throw the friggin' ball with lanes. Why just time to throw? Yeah. They're good. They're good guys. This is a good team, and they're really the Jerry World rocks, and they play really well at home. This is going to be a tough one. And you just named like 6, 7, 8 dudes that were all good, and there's like 3, 4, 5 more on each side of the ball that are still solid. And I'm sure I've got a couple of notes to bring up as we go too. Man, they're a good team. I don't know if they're Eagles, Niners, tier 1 or not. I kind of feel like they're kind of right there, especially at home. So going to be a tough one. So let's see what we can do. So we got through the previously with the protector. Thank you so much. It's tough to look back at that, especially when we got to face it. And we do got to face it. So we'd like to give the theme, or Mr. Phil does for that matter, give the theme. So Mr. Phil, what is this week's theme for our Seahawks in What If?
Well, it's another 90s throwback game. Couldn't resist. Expected by many, hoped for by even more, that we would do another throwback episode. So of course we are. I had so many categories left for the 90s. And of course it was the grunge decade. It was a great decade, really, for Americans. And if there's a song maybe encapsulated, we got there, we're still alive, right? We're still alive. And so what if, after what's happened with these losses to our division rivals, what if we're still alive and we can prove there is a heartbeat, there's life there? We love the 90s. Return to the throwback. Here are our categories, and it will be Clinton that gets to go first tonight. We have Stereograms from the 90s, No Fear, Sitcoms, Mixtape, Game Boy bands. I kind of did the Wheel of Fortune. I did the before after there on that one. And then the Thigh Master. So, Clinton, where would you like to go first for the 90s?
Yeah, wonderful. Brandon, just as a heads up, the music is a little loud. If it can go down, if not, no worries. Man, these are all good. I want to leave one on the board just because I'm in a giving mood. So I'll leave the really fun one for Brandon if he wants it.
There's only one fun one, Clinton.
There's one really, really fun one, right? So, and I'll leave that there.
No.
You know what? There was a great tweet I saw, I don't know, a couple of years ago that was like, hey, in the 1990s, I had some No Fear shirts, and it was like, but truth be told, I did have some fear. So let's go No Fear, right? Those were
No
iconic.
Fear, plain and simple here for
there
you,
it
Clinton.
is. There it is.
Clinton, what if there's a Seahawk, and this can be a player or a staff member, coaching staff, play caller, whatever, a Seahawk who needs to move past some of his fears? Who must overcome their fear in Dallas? What'll that look like? A fearful one has to overcome it in Dallas.
Yeah. Okay. This is good. I'm rocking the chair. Think about this one. The player or staff part is super interesting. Yeah. Okay. You know what? I'm going to go here. And this might not be like a fair fear. So, because that, who knows what the fear is. It's more about, can this player be back, and what might the impact be? Okay. So I'm going to, and the fear of, hey, what if this dude actually has a chronic injury? We're talking Abe Lucas, right? Mm-hmm. So fear of coming, a fear of coming back, from an injury and having to go out there and put it on the line and see, can you play at a high level? We talk about, everyone talks Micah Parsons, right? Like, of course, people are going to talk Micah Parsons. With that, number 97, I'm going to try it as best I can. It's Osa Odigizua, right?
Nailed it.
Yeah, that dude, UCLA guy, 25-year-old, third-year defensive tackle, and they play a traditional 3-4. He typically will end up on Lucas's side. So if we got Bradford out there who's healthy, and we've got Lucas out there, and Lucas is off this knee, dude, this guy Osa is a baller. He's a very good defensive tackle. Not only puts pressure on the quarterback, but he's a good run defender too. So for Abe, I'll say it simply, facing the fear of like, what's his career look like if this is chronic? Can he get out there? Can he play a full game? And can he recover from that and feel comfy? Because he's a very good right tackle when he is out there. So let's get Abe back out there. No fear. Come on, Lucas. Let's go.
Yeah, overcome some of our fears that Abe can't still do it. And let's see him out there. That'd be great. Brandon, how about you?
All right, I'm going to go with Tariq Woolen and his fear of tackling because
that's a good one.
it got him pulled from the game last week, apparently, or due to injury, one of the two.
Tackling, no tackling. Yes.
The thing is we're going to need Tariq Woolen this week, especially with this wide receiving core that the Cowboys have, because you pointed it out in your rundown, Phil. They got CeeDee Lamb, who's having a really good year. They've got Michael Gallup. They have a lot of depth at receiver too. Yeah. And so we're going to need our top corners out there in coverage, and Woolen's that guy.
Good. I love that answer. There were the number ones I thought of, but that's probably the one. I think I like Brandon's the best, but I would love to see Abe too. I have fear of Abe not being rookie Abe ever again. So that would overcome some fear for me if that took place. Okay, so no fear is gone. I just realized I lost my special little scratchy pin, so I'll have to get that out here soon. But we do have 5 choices left for you, Brandon.
I'm going to go, one of my favorite things from the 90s, we're looking at the pages where you had to cross your eyes a little bit and you could see the picture, it's not a sailboat, it's a schooner, or vice versa. I forget what the quote was. I'm going to go with Stereogram.
Stereogram. There it is. He remembered the Stereogram. There's a Seahawk in there, I think. So, Brandon, what if there's one thing you'll be looking deeply through the pixels to behold? What are you hoping to find beneath the surface details as we watch this game? If we're still alive, you're looking to see this.
Yeah, well, I'm looking to see our Seahawks play as close to a complete game as we've seen this season, because we see it in little bits and spurts, right? We see the defense put together a quarter or a half, and they're tackling really well, they're covering, they're doing all of those things, and we see those bits on offense too. And it's in this stretch with the Rams, we didn't see it. The Niners, we didn't see it. We got the Niners coming up. We got Philly coming up. If we want to have a look at the postseason, we're going to need one of these 3 games. And so we're going to need to see what we've been able to see in spurts into the complete picture of our offense and defense all working together.
All right. So, Clinton, I saw you trying to look into the stereogram there on the screen to see what's really there. As Brandon is hoping to find a complete game, what do you hope to see as you look deeply into this matchup?
Yeah, there's 2 sides to the ball here. I'll give one answer. I think possibly the more important one is the ability for us to hopefully get Dak a little bit flustered and with only rushing 4. Don't have to get home. Be cool to get home, meaning sacks, right? Consistent pressure with 4 dudes is going to be really important against this team. Dak seems to eat up the blitz. Like he recognizes it quickly. The ball's out of his hand. They do a good job scheming against it. They know the hot routes, and they got dudes who can make contested catches. So even if we're blitzing 5 or 6, and then we're playing a cover 0 against that or whatever it might be, just a man against that, he could throw into tight windows, and he's got dudes who can make catches where they get frustrating. Like now it's second and 2 because a quick little hit on a first down blitz. So can we manufacture enough pressure with just 4? And it can, can Mafe get back on the good side of the ledger, not get skunked. If Leo's playing, had the ankle earlier in the week, looks like he was full today. Can Leo have one of those huge games? Can Draymond, just step up and have a big game? I think we've got the potential, but this is a really good offensive line. So if we could potentially win there, Mr. Phil, with just 4, it'll bode. If we see that early, first quarter into the early second quarter, bodes really well for our chances. If this is Dak all day, first, second, third drive, where he could just sit back there and pick us apart, it's going to be a long day for us.
Like 220 yards before halftime last Thursday. We don't need to see that. We want to look deeply, and we want to see our front 4 or 5, how many are rushing, make pressure. We want to see Draymond earn his $1 million this week. That would be great too.
That'd be cool.
And so
that'd be cool.
I like it. We'll be looking for some pressure. And I did find my green scratchy stick. So
nice.
I can cross off No Fear. I can cross off Stereogram. We come back to Clinton. Sitcom, Mixtape, Game Boy bands, or the Thigh Master.
Oh, well, since Brandon left it on the board there, I'm just going to go in the honor of Suzanne Summers. Let's go Thigh Master. Let's work it.
We almost could have put Suzanne Summers on there, I think, but I wasn't sure if I'd get in trouble for doing that. So, gentlemen, what if there are some specific thighs who need to prove masters in the run game? Who must crush it in Dallas? This is on both sides. I know Adam wants us to see us run. I want to see us run good. I also would like to see our run D not completely go off a cliff like they've been showing. But for you, Clinton, who do you want to see be run stuffing masters or run success masters in this matchup?
Well, I know K9, it sounds like he's not quite ready yet, right? Still DNP. So
yet.
Yeah. So I would imagine they're not going to rush him back on another another short week, if you will. Give him the extra almost mini buy and get him back for later, hopefully. So the obvious answer becomes Charbonnet. However, why don't we go to the unobvious answer and say, like, how about some Kenny McIntosh? Will we see some Kenny McIntosh? Like, that's the thing. If I want to see some specific thighs out there, we don't have Captain Thigh Arms anymore, and I wish we did.
Yes.
So how about some Kenny McIntosh? Like, we need to change something. I was calling for Shane Waldron's head earlier last week. And if we just kind of muddle along here and don't really take new risks and try some new things, this is not going to be a pretty game. I keep saying that. So maybe McIntosh could be that bit of a spark plug. I know when you get the ball in his hands, he could do dynamic things, and he's just got the good looking right stature for the type of dude who kind of ping pongs off of players. He's strong, he's agile. Let's see how he is off this pretty severe knee injury too. That was a pretty bad sprain. So that's my answer. I want to see some new thighs, and I want them to do what they should, Mr. Phil.
Yes, he wants to see a guy running the ball, Kenny McIntosh. Any other thighs important in the run, offense, or D that you hope are masters in this game, Brandon?
Yeah, the question is need, and I don't know if we need McIntosh, because I don't think if we didn't see him last week, I don't know what he needs to do to get back out there and prove that he at least deserves a snap. So I guess until I see him
back out there.
Back out there until if you compare it to preseason, but I need to actually see him. So it's going to have to be a big Zach Charbonnet day, because they didn't give that many snaps to DJ Dallas. They didn't, run. They ran it once with Eskridge on an end around, and that was just one offensive snap. So I'm not going to count on them all of a sudden deciding to use JSN for end arounds or any of the other receivers for whatever reason. It only can be D. Eskridge, the guy who gets hurt after one game. So we're counting on Zach Charbonnet. If he can't do it, then it's going to be a long day with the Seahawks run game.
Here's the question, man, though. Are we forgetting about some other important people in having success in the run game? Are there any other like
Yes.
areas in the run game that are kind of important to us succeeding besides the guys that carry the ball.
Yeah, the other one that I wanted to add in there is Anthony Bradford, right? So in that is he's healthy, he's a full participant. He is a better run blocker, without a doubt, than Phil Haynes. He still has his challenges in pass protection, but so does Phil Haynes. So if we're going to see some Anthony Bradford, that would be a pretty cool need. That dude is a body mover. And we were just talking about some reasons the Cowboys have a very good line. So yeah, man, some Anthony Bradford is a big need, and he's a big dude. So that would be kind of cool.
It would be cool if the guys who actually are going to be starting were the guys who are crushing it though in Dallas, and not the guys that are backing other dudes up.
Well, Bradford might get the start, right? I mean, he may end up being the starter for this game.
He might. I mean, Kenny McIntosh might get snaps too. So I'm not to poo-poo on your answers, but your answers are terrible.
You're poo-pooing. You're poo-pooing. Here we are. You're
guys on the bench need to crush it. No, so you guys didn't touch the defense. What's our problem? Like we haven't really been hurt since the beginning of the season. Is it just we're playing better opponents? Why did we start off so good against the run in the beginning of the year, and then now? Well, no, we did. We had a major injury in Uchenna, but that's one side.
I'm not that worried about Dallas running the football.
Yeah, really. So I mean, they can still run the football. Okay. I mean, Pollard's been underwhelming so far this year, but had his best game last year. I think, Phil, to answer that quickly, we play teams that ran the ball better, like with the Ravens, with the Niners. We played better competition with dudes who could move bodies. The one exception was early in the year versus Detroit. You know, Detroit has done really well against some other teams running the ball, and we bottled them up. So that's it, I think.
I get it that Uchenna matters, but I feel like Brooks should be showing up more in the run game. I mean, we missed thigh arms, but I feel like there's gaps that we didn't have before, even in the middle. So I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something.
Yeah, they've been running the ball. Our opponents have been running the ball more effectively between the tackles. They have. Yeah. But I do think it's competition.
Just better teams. Okay.
I do.
I believe we're up to Brandon. 3 choices on the board.
All right. I am going to go. You know, this kind of reminds me of that game show where you kind of had the words stacked. Game Boy bands. Game Boy boy bands.
It is.
I forget what game show that was, but
Wheel of Fortune did the before after, and they
did do the before and after, but there was another one, and it wasn't 90s. It was probably more in the early 2000s.
80s. Wasn't classic concentration.
And Wheel of Fortune is pick a decade, and yes, they were there. Yeah.
I'll come up with it. I'll come up with the game show. It was, you know, if you watched a lot of Game Show Network in the 2000s, you probably knew what it was.
Okay. This was ultimately me having too many categories I wanted to use, so I just fused one. So,
love it.
Game Boy's tough to leave out, and there was a lot of boy bands in the 90s.
Yeah,
not that there isn't always. But Brandon, what if Dim Boys, which by the way is just a silly term for a team? I would feel bad for the Cowboys being Dim Boys if I was capable of feeling bad for them. But what if Dim Boys have a few players who you fear maybe tearing up our hearts, right? And we don't want them to go bye on us. We just want them to go bye off the stat sheet. Who must we contain in this game? Some guys you want to throw out there, and why, Brandon?
Oh, well, I hope we can turn it up to 98 degrees and get a win this week. You took all those other 90 songs that I knew of, so that was the best I can do. All right, who must we contain in this game? I've got to go to not number 98, number 88, CeeDee Lamb. The dude is he's one of their best players, obviously, and a guy that Dak has been looking for routinely in the passing game. And so I'm going to be looking, you know, who exactly is going to be covering Lamb? Is he going to be lining up in the slot quite a bit? And if so, do we start to see Witherspoon maybe shadowing him a little bit? They move him all around though too, but I really like that matchup in particular with CD in the slot and Witherspoon in coverage too. And so if Spoon can cover up Lamb and maybe even get a pick in this game, that would help contain this Cowboys offense.
Do a little better against Lamb than he did against Ayuk. I would like that. Yeah, that was didn't Spoon got for the first time. My boys were all stoked to see Spoon, and they had to see him really get beat for maybe one of the first times that besides the flea flicker play. So I feel like Spoon's gonna have something to prove in this one, and he's gonna dominate whoever he's against. So I love that, Brandon. Clinton, how about you? What are some boys that you're concerned about in this matchup?
The big one, well, it's almost the opposite or the other side of what Brandon was just saying for me.
Ooh.
So, and I don't mean the other side of the defense. I mean that there's CeeDee Lamb, and I think we've done a pretty good job of taking out the one receiver. And yeah, Ayuk didn't have amazing stats. He had that touchdown. He frankly shoved off at the top of the route. Nice route by Ayuk, and I think Ayuk's a very, very good receiver. But mainly Ayuk was fairly contained throughout the game. But what happens is it's the Deebo Samuel show, right? It's the other dude show. So Brandon Cooks is this sneaky killer. Talking about depth in this Cowboys team. So just sticking on the offense there. It's like, yeah, if you contain CeeDee Lamb and it ends up being mostly Spoon, well, there might be some leakage, and other wide receivers, number 2s, number 3s, tend to get theirs against the Seahawks because the ball's got to go somewhere. So Brandon Cooks to me is a big player that I will not be shocked if he's sitting there for him 40 plus yards, and doesn't sound like a lot, but 40 plus, 45 and a touchdown. And he's had a really, really impactful part of this game, moves the chains a couple of times and scores a touchdown. That's the dude I feel like some third quarter touchdown by Brandon Cooks, and we're sitting there, crying in our beers over it because there's so many things you got to stop with this offense. And Cooks is a really good professional, man. He's a solid NFL player.
He's a famous zone master. Like, put him against any zone and he always knows the spot. Cooks.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like a Tyler Lockett-esque, he's similar, right? It's like, he's guys had a really long, really successful career, good wherever he's gone. Just plug and play, set and forget, whatever else you want to say about the guy. And like you said, it's because he's savvy. So if we're playing what we typically play on defense, just the way we play defense, right? He's going to find his moments, and he could eat us up where they're just churning on third downs and we can't stop them or get off the field. That would break our hearts.
When you said the other side, I thought you were going to talk the pass defense, because their corners are awesome. Their pass rush is awesome. Like, it's really, really hard to pass against this team. So
they're good, man. They're a good team. That's why their DVOA is 2 on defense.
Yeah, that's pretty good. One other thing that was really good was the TV show Chain Reaction, which is the show that I was trying to think of, which I guess was an 80s, early 90s game show too, but I didn't get into it until the 2000s. But yes, Game Boy bands. That reminds me of Chain Reaction. That was a good pull, a good show. Quick aside, favorite game show of all time, Mr. Phil.
Well, I always thought it was Pressure Luck. As a kid, I loved Pressure Luck, but it didn't hold up when I went back and watched it on whatever streaming service it's on. I didn't love it like I did as a kid, so I'll have to rethink. I like the one with the pyramid. The pyramid was pretty good. Basically, password with a giant pyramid. I don't know. How about you?
What about you, Brandon?
Well, I mean, the go-to growing up, Price is Right, and that one stands the test of time. But yes, Pressure Luck was always, that was the go-to when you were homesick from school and you could watch some Pressure Luck.
I love Pressure Luck. That's my answer. I still love it. And Elizabeth Banks hosts the new one, and she's good at it. She's funny. Pressure Luck it's the whatchamacallit of game shows, and whatchamacallit is the premier candy bar in the world. Thank you.
Okay. I believe you, Clinton. Sitcoms or mixtape then?
Is this me? Okay, this is me. I am going, you know what? I enjoy a good sitcom. Let's go 90s sitcoms.
The decade for the sitcoms. Funny that one of their top sitcoms was about the 70s, but Saved by the Bell was underrated, at least for my friend group. But I don't know about you guys.
Go Bayside, love it.
Clinton, what if we can avoid certain situations from resulting in a comedy of errors? How can we eliminate some episodes that 12s don't find especially funny, Clinton?
Yeah. This we talked about this on 3 and 3 out, and it is our offensive woes kind of start and stop this year, like start and literally stop, and the wheels come off of our drives with the negative plays. And the negative play could be, it very often is, not even a play. It's the pre-snap penalties, just or the holdings, the dumb stuff, procedural things. That's like, come on, like it's week 11, it's week 12. What are we doing? It's the first play of the game, and it's a broken play, and Gino goes for a half a yard. Like, what is going on? So whether you want to lump it in with broken plays, procedural penalties, just negative plays in general, we have to avoid that, because, and I'll wrap it this way. You said it earlier with the Manders over there, the commies, 3rd and 8.3 was their average third down. I mean, yikes. We had, when the Niners got into third down, against us, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 8, it was lights out. It was over. So I think we just have to do a much, much stronger job of ensuring that we avoid those 3rd and longs, and the negative plays that kill drives are the main culprit, I feel like.
And I'll switch over to the opposite side, because the opposite of being in 3rd and long and being in long distance on offense is the defense. And one of the things that we've seen is the defense, they get into situations where they get a really good stop on 1st down, they hold it to a short gain on 2nd down, and then it's 3rd and 8 for the opposing team, and they find either some way. Part of it goes to penalties, not necessarily pre-snap penalties, but you'll see, hands to the face or some kind of illegal contact, or the defense won't tackle. They'll have the stop short of the sticks, and they won't be able to finish the tackle. So finishing on those 3rd down stops, because almost every time I feel like we see the defense that when they give up one of those 3rd downs where they have the stop and they should be getting off the field, and something happens, and then the opposing offense just rolls the rest of the way down the field.
Mm-hmm. Great one.
No fun. We're down to the final one, the old 90s mixtape. Do you guys ever do any mixtapes?
Always.
Of course. Yeah, always. They're the best. You sit by the radio, waiting for that song to come on, and you
start it.
You get it at the right moment. Yeah, the best.
Or you do the CDs, and then you pick the songs and you record it because you got a big road trip coming, and there's certain ones you have to have, right?
Absolutely.
Speaking of road trips, the Hawks are going on a road trip. And let's see, Brandon, what if you could mix up your favorite Hawk plays for this road trip? What are your must-haves? These have to be in the playbook, offense, defense. What do you got to see, Brandon?
Oh, my favorite plays, must-haves. There's so many that annoy me that I try and think of what my
that was last question. Move to this question.
I'm okay. Moving on. Yes. Favorite Hawk plays. I just want to see, and one of the things I'm reminded of, Phil, is that you pointed to the fact that the Cowboys can be maybe a little bit leaky in the middle. And one of the things that I feel like we've seen in situations where this offensive line is opening up large holes, particularly in the middle, for Zach Charbonnet to run through. And it's the weirdest thing, because when they've had Walker out there, it's like, man, if Walker hit this kind of hole, he might be in the end zone. Charbonnet, I equate him more to a Chris Carson-esque back, where he's getting big yardage, but it's more 15, 20 yards on the explosive plays rather than going all the way to the end zone. So I think opening up those big holes in the middle, getting some nice 15, 20-yard chunks with Charbonnet, it's one of my favorite things to see, and it's one of the things that I think we'll need to see to win this game against the Cowboys.
Brandon's going on a trip. He wants to make sure he hits record on Charbonnet, charbonneting people right up the middle. Clinton, what are some must plays we got to have it for our road trip mixtape?
Yeah, I think if we're going to get back to being ourselves and back to basics, which we heard about, we did for 1 week and it worked so well, we stopped doing it. That was weird. I think the and I know everybody's harping about the middle of the field. There were some great YouTube comments that came in saying, well, if you look at the numbers, actually, we're using it. We're not executing. For me, it's tight ends, seam routes, tight ends, seam route, tight end, seam route. Can we get back to some of that? Like we come out of the third quarter versus the Niners, play one, and I know Disley's hurt, but play one, seam route in rhythm, 3-step drop, hits the back foot, balls out of the hands, 21-yard gain to Disley right on the hashes there. Can we see some of that? And that could be Bobo and Brandon. I know you love lumping Bobo into the tight end room. So I'm gonna grant and say that's also cool. But the 3-step drop, fire the ball over the linebacker, over the middle right there, and just let's see if we could use that part of the field again. I really want to see that back on the discography, Mr. Phil, but I just feel like we need it, man. We need it. It opens up other things. And I know people get a little antsy about it. Well, throwing the ball over the middle, it could cause more, statistically, that's where more interceptions happen. I get all that. But Geno's interceptions have not been happening there. They've been happening to the edges. It's been the opposite, right? So that's that, man. Seam routes, tight ends. Don't forget that we have a talented tight end room, and let's use them. That'd be awesome.
Can I take your playlists and add a little wrinkle? Like I want Brandon's run up the middle. I want Clinton's passing over the middle. Can I just get some Geno play action crossers? Like just when we've done it, they're pretty good. Now we've had a couple doinks, but yeah, seam route, but also the play action, usually you think bomb, but crossers take a little bit to develop because they go out, beat their guy, and come across the middle. Why not use play action? You're hitting a guy for an easy 10, 12 over the middle. It doesn't have to be the deepest guy every time, right? Can we do that?
I love that. And I think if we do that, I also think it's where DK has been more effective this year. He's just been more effective over the middle, slants, crossers, even that deep throw to JSN, the fantastic catch, the catch that he made. Beautiful catch. It was right after a DK drop, by the way. But on the very next play, DK is running a little drag route. He's wide open. And like Geno's right there with him, but he locks on JSN. JSN makes a heck of a play, and we all celebrate it. So it's like, it's there. Yeah, it's there. So you hear Pete talk about putting our players in the best position and then distributing the ball, to where it's supposed to go. So I think it kind of just cascades all the way down. So I'd love to see it, Mr. Phil. Yeah. I think if we do those things, we might even be in this game. That'd be something.
Let's build a mixtape together. The Seahawkers pod contributor mixtape, and let's see if we can't call a good game here on this road trip.
Does Waldron deserve one of our mixtapes?
You make some copies. I love this mixtape, and you get the double tape deck, right?
Oh yeah,
and you duplicate it for all your friends.
Absolutely. I mean, they take time to make, and when you happen upon or you craft a good one, man, then you go buy the stack of the 6 or 8, and you make that out and be like, hey, here you go, like this is a banger, right? So
Clint's mixtape for his friends. That's the gift that keeps on giving all season.
No doubt.
Time to go to our flocker wishing well. We asked for some wishes from our little flockers. Brandon, how do they get to throw these wishes into our wishing well?
You can go to getintheflock.com. You can join there. $3 and above gets you into our Discord, or you can join via YouTube. And there's a link there to join the Discord as well. Still working through some of the issues with that, but I think we got it figured out. So either place, it'll get you right in there. We got a channel for all of these little pieces of feedback, which is great.
Yes. All right. In our Discord, we had 4 wishes dropped in the well, and Frost says K9 returns to form, 2+ touchdowns. Now, this would be quite the wish to come true since he did not practice today on Tuesday, but I would absolutely love it. Witherfork wishes we play more tempo. And side wish, I want to see Jerry Jones cry. Okay. that's that'd be just fine. Car, she was not the first wish. How did that ever happen? People must have been very quick with their wishes. Car, just run the ball, please. Just run it. So Car wants 100% running in this game, and maybe that would be better than the percent we've been doing. Sounds just great. Designed Pete's beach house last night. She wished Don't be embarrassing. Make it a fight. Okay. This is Amy, right?
Yeah.
That's Amy. Yep.
Amy, don't you remember last show? We don't wish that we just play okay. We want wins. But it's hard for me to throw this one out because, yeah, I don't want to be embarrassing on prime time again. So now you guys are starting to buy me off here with these wishes. But I'd like for our well not to have just don't be embarrassing. I want this to go to let's win. Any thoughts on that? Can I okay this one?
I think we have to. I think Amy's good people.
Yeah.
I think her heart's in the right place. And if it's a fight, well then heck, we can win that fight.
Yeah.
How about that?
2 weeks in a row, we're playing a team that we just hope it's close at the end, kind of a wish here. So that tells you where we're at as a fan base.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, Vegas, it's up to 9. The point spread is up to 9.5, guys.
Yeah, and I get it.
9.5. Wow.
I feel the pain. Well, I just love to shock the world, though. I'd love it. That's what I'm wishing for. Okay, what if Superhawk? That's our wish. That's why we call it a wish. It's a what if Superhawk. This week, Clinton goes first, who got his incredible wish last week. I wish you'd have done more wishes like that, Clinton. That was a pretty incredible. The pick six, and you called the name of our pick six guy. Pretty tough to beat. What's going to happen this week as you make your wish, Clinton?
Yeah, thank you so much for recognizing the greatest wish of all time. I do accept it, and I take my Cadillac trot. And that was Jordan Brooks to score, which is great. Okay, so I talked about I threw his name out there earlier, and if he's part of this game and a big part of this game, then we have a shot. Then we can fight, and it won't be this 10 point plus blowout that Vegas is now predicting down in Jerry World. This is Boye Mafe getting off the schneid, the 2-week schneid, specifically getting a strip sack that results in a turnover for the Cowboys. So we recover the strip sack. So strip sack recovered by our boys, by the Boye Mafe, the BMF.
Boye, do it to dim boys. Love it. Brandon, your wish, please.
I'm going to go here anyway because Boye Mafe was also my what if Superhawk for this game.
Wow.
But mine is a little bit different. Mine is a Boye Mafe sack, but also to have more sacks than Micah Parsons on the other side of the football.
Ooh, careful. That's spicy, Brandon.
So more total, like he has to get 1.5 or 1.5 over 1.
Just has to finish with more sacks than Micah.
More sacks than Micah. Okay.
So in that world, by the way, I think one of the best outcomes for the Seahawks might be 1 for Boye and a 0.5 or 0 for Parsons. That might be the best outcome with that because you go all the way to infinity and infinity -1, right?
I can think of 4 sacks by Boye Mafe and 0 for Micah. I think that would be the best outcome. I don't know why you're limiting it to Boye to just 1.
Yeah,
so
I
recognize
guess
what's going on, Brandon. Clinton's trying to goat you into your sidecars, and
my sidecar is already spoken for. It's Micah Parsons getting
ready.
Yeah,
getting
put in the back seat.
3 less sacks than Mafe. Got it on the record.
All right. So since we last had a visual what if show with the slides and all, you've both won one. We are now sitting at Brandon with the 6-5 lead over Clinton. The score is the first one. The wish is the first tiebreaker. No, who wins is the first one. You have to get that right. The wish is the first tiebreaker. And then, of course, point spread. Clinton would have got it both ways last week because he $1'd you. You don't get a $1, Brandon, this time, Clinton. You must go first. What do you predict will happen in Big D?
I am going to say it and hate it. I think the Cowboys win the game 31-20. And I hate that I feel that way, but I think it's the case.
Okay. So Clinton's predicting 31-20 to Dallas.
Yeah.
Brandon, what's your prediction?
So an 11-point victory, like you're taking the spread and then adding 2 points.
I'm not taking anything. I'm just looking at this and saying, I don't think we win this football game. Unfortunately, I want to be wrong. Look, darkest before the dawn type thing, right? Like, hopefully this is the lull. You said earlier, Brandon, it can't get worse. I don't know, man. I kind of subscribe to it can always get worse. You got to dig yourself out of those situations. Are we going to? I don't know. I sure hope so. I hope I'm wrong, and you win. We both get our wishes, and the tiebreaker, you say something better and you win. So what's your score?
Okay, well, for the record, I hate that you went so deep with the number of points for the Cowboys to win by, which is why I'm $1-ing you in with your point spread, and I say the Seahawks lose by 10, but that's only because then if I just pick one lower than you, as long as we don't get blown out, which I think is a possibility, then I have the tiebreaker on this one.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And
So what's your score? Is it 30-20, or are you doing something else?
I'll do 30-20. I don't care.
No.
I just need it to be 10 points or less.
Good.
Okay.
Good. I hope we reverse DCH
Instead of 30-20. How about 10-0? It's a shutout, but the Dallas only scores 10 points. There you go.
Is that what you're really going to pick?
I mean,
is that your real prediction, Brandon?
I'm just trying to beat Clinton. I don't want
to
only
pick care about winning. You don't care about
lose.
giving us a heartfelt, honest, intelligent prediction. You just want to win, right?
I just want to win. Okay, look, if we're being ridiculous, the Cowboys score 0, the Seahawks score -10. It's still a 10-point spread, and I win as long as it's within 10.
He's manipulating the math there, which is fine.
I'm trying to confuse you, Phil. We'll stick with 30-20 because that's what I said first.
I do want to put this up on the screen. Never manipulating the math. We got R Ryan 911 with the $9.99 super chat. This is the always go live executive producer. Thank you, Ryan, very, very much. And of course, if y'all have your predictions, let's hear them out on the Discord, on the Facebook Ring of Honor. You can get them out to us on Twitter. Guys, it's Tuesday. I want to feel better come Thursday nights. Like after this game, I want to be like, boy, was I wrong. Boy, was I stupid to doubt our team, and let me never doubt our team again. But I want that punishment. I'm asking for that punishment. I want the shame, walk of shame thing from Game of Thrones. Throw the Rotten Tomatoes on me. Prove me wrong. And same thing, prove Brandon wrong. And Phil, I don't know how you feel in your heart of hearts, but I hope we get this W, man, because you sure.
The Lambs game is hurting. The Lambs game is hurting me right now because now I feel like we're holding on to like something magical happening for recovery. Is that Adam? Adam's predicting a Hawks win?
No, that's me.
Oh,
Ryan wanted my actual score, but I had to predict the ridiculous score just so I could beat Clinton.
Okay, I got it.
Because we picked the same player. If Boye gets a strip sack and we shut out Micah Parsons in terms of sacks, then we would both tie on our what if Superhawk. Correct. And then I'm going to need the score, and I just have to be 10 points or closer, right? It just has to be.
You're just taking advantage of you getting to go second and using
taking advantage of Clinton being the first one to pick the Seahawks to lose this season.
He's playing the game, and I don't blame him. And again, if I lose because of that, then so freaking be it. I'm okay with that because our Seahawks will win. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunity out there in the multiverse. Like what Dr. Strange said, there are a couple. He said there was only one way that the Avengers could win. I think there's more than one in this one. There's more than one way that we can beat Dallas. There's a couple routes. We can't. There's some things that can't happen for sure, but there's a couple ways we can win. Anything else, gentlemen?
Let's have some fun. Throwbacks. I said this on the P&W show. I was like, what if we get back to some fun? This team should be fun. This team has all the parts to be fun. We got our throwbacks. We're going to an awesome stadium. It's Thursday night. It's prime time. This should be fun. Yeah. So, Phil, to take it from your playbook, what if this is fun and we're really happy come Thursday night? That would be awesome.
With that, there's only one thing left to say. What if we say go Hawks?
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Make it fun.